let's now say a very warm good morning to John Conteh, once Britain's most popular boxer, but now his punches are, well, sort of pretend only, because you're much more of an actor now, aren't you?
Yeah, I've just done a film that comes out next month.
Right.
Called Tank Manning.
Tank Manning. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, but first of all, the big one, the fight. You saw that in the early hours, I guess.
Well, I listened to it on the radio in the morning. I watched it twice on the telly yesterday.
And what do you think?
Well, he's done very well, Frank, you know what I mean? I thought his tactics were wrong. You know, just holding and not doing nothing's no good, you know? No wonder he was getting worn. But using his strength, he should have, which is his great asset, as well as a left jab and a right cross. I think when he came in, when Tyson came in, he comes naturally to his hands here, where he should have grabbed him by the shoulders, thrown him back, bang, left, right, let him come, thrown him back, and left, right. That was the tactics, which he could have, which is a positive thing, because he could have won.
Why do you think he didn't do it?
Because he was told not to. It was tactics, just to hold, and that was it. But I thought, you know, he could have won, although he was a great performance.
Very brave.
Why did you watch it twice, John? I mean, do you
I was coming on this programme to talk about.
Massive interest.
Well, I don't know what I'm talking about, you know.
Well, we don't know what we're talking about.
Well, we didn't catch all of it, no.
I mean, do you think that he is going to retire now? We heard his manager on the radio saying that he would actually advise him to retire. And his wife, Frank Bruno's wife, wants him to finish now, doesn't she?
Yeah. It's funny, my wife wanted me to finish when early on, when, especially around about the middle of 75 when I was fighting. But now she wants me to go back. Married 14 years, she wants me to make a comeback. She said, come on, Punchy, make a comeback, get the money. But,
yes, they don't care after a while, do they?
No, it's, I think it's easier making a comeback, you know. At least you know why you're going Punchy.
Yeah.
And, I think it's a good thing. You know, he has to sit down and relax and think about it. But the way he fought was good. He seemed to mature a bit in the ring, like, you know, better than before. And also, he's got a chance of winning, beating Tyson with the right tactics, though, you know, using his strength, like I say, pushing him back, and then left, right, keeping it simple, and let anything else flow naturally from there.
I don't understand boxing. I mean, Frank Bruno seems such a nice and warm and lovable human being, as indeed so do you. I'm not so sure about Tyson, but it's a kind of... you change. You have to change totally. You have to sort of psych yourself up to become a sort of monster in the ring, do you not?
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, that's right. When the bell goes.
Is it a real split?
Well, it's not belly dancing, is it? You know, when the bell goes, you got to fight. I mean, that's what it is. It's a fight. I don't understand all these reports. I was reading a report in the Mail today or something about the brutality of it and the this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? When I was in Liverpool and Kirby, like, you know, it was really brutal there as far as poverty was concerned. Running the streets, it's tough. And I had boxing. I thank God I had boxing to give me the disciplined way out of the situation.
Very common story, that, isn't it? That most boxers come out of a deprived background, you know, and a tough existence.
So maybe he's saying, when I was reading these reports in the Mail, that we were off our heads from day one anyway, you know what I mean? But I don't know. But if we are, he let us carry on with it, you know.
But would you say you were always an aggressive sort of person? I mean, you were into fights and that kind of thing before you went in the ring?
I'd like to say no, but recently I've been looking back and trying to get a bit honest, and yeah, I think I was, yeah. I think you had to be, because if you've shown a bit of a weak in the area that I was in, then you'd have a tougher life, you know.
I remember I was only in one fight when I was at school. I was about 14, and just before it started, my best friend said to me, "It doesn't hurt. It only hurts afterwards." And within about 3 seconds, tears were flooding from my eyes as I was caught one on the nose. Does it hurt actually in the ring, or is it true that the pain only hits you, you know, 10 minutes afterwards?
Well, my trainer used to say to me after I used to come back to in the round, he said, "Don't worry, he's not laying a glove on you." I said, "Well, keep your eye on the referee. Someone's knocking that out of me." He used to tell me I wasn't feeling anything. But when the bell went, he used to jump out. He used to shout to me, "Come on, John, you got to get up before 10." I said, "Well, what time is it now?"
No, seriously though, seriously. Do you suffer pain in the ring, or do the bruises really start to hurt when the bell's gone?
Well, all depends, you know what I mean? It's like, I used to think about the money, and if on the overheads, if you weren't getting too much for it, this seems to react. The punches used to feel more like, you know, but if you're getting lots of bread for it, at least you can pay for a good surgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, of all sports, it seems boxing, you must have to think of the money a lot, because to subject yourself to that kind of physical pain, I mean, nobody else does it. Other people, you might say, do it for the love of the sport. But
I see what you're talking about is like you mentioned about the pain and all that. That's not the way it is. I mean, it's like you're psyched up for it, you're trained for it, you're conditioned for it. You know, I mean, that's what I was. I was a boxer. I had the gift to be able to do that. And then, as far as taking the punches are concerned and all that, you don't feel them, like, you know, in that sense, you're psyched up, you're in that situation. Someone outside of it wouldn't understand that. At the same time, outside of it myself, my little girl, for example, she's only 10, she gives me a whack, I'd feel really pain. I'd feel pain. But if you're trained, conditioned and psyched up to do something, you can withstand stuff which you wouldn't normally withstand outside.
would you like your own child to be a boxer, though?
If he was good enough, yeah.
You were.
I would train him and manage him if he was good enough and wanted to do it, had the desire to do it. Because after all, we talk about money and this, that and the other. But once that bell goes, all the money in the world doesn't help you. So it's got to be more than money. And I think it's the desire to overcome, the desire to respond to the challenge and to fulfill this aggression and to channel this aggression, especially when it's given to you, to be able to do so in a disciplined area.
We'll talk about the acting in next question, but just one more thing about what happens in the ring. Seriously, when you're there and you're throwing the punches and you're in the middle of the fight, do you feel, I wouldn't say a hatred for the other person, but a real desire to knock 7 bells out of them? Is it really there inside you?
Yeah, it can be, but it was just, I used to only speak for me, like, you know, it was a case of response. I've psyched myself up and trained myself up that this fella was coming at you and he just wanted to knock you out and abuse you in the sense physically in front of people too.
Yes.
And so Alpha them want you to be on the floor too, you know, if they were supporting him. And then there was a sort of quiet sort of rage and anger, and it was a response there to be able to respond to that. So it wasn't so much like, well, I wanted to really do him. It was like me responding to him doing it. So I think it was a nice way of conning myself into thinking that he was to blame, not me. I just happened to be passing and he tried to mug me.
You don't feel the same way about interviews.
The table vibrates. Yeah. Acting.
Yes, this film.
You're doing ever so well.
Yeah, that's okay. My wife said if they make a remake of Noah's Ark, I can act a ghost. So that's all right. But no, it's great. I've got a chance to do a bit of acting. I loved that. I was in Willie Russell's musical Blood Brothers, which I loved. It was a great musical. And he gave me the opportunity to be able to, him and Robert Fox, and that gave me the opportunity to have experienced that, and that was wonderful.
The critics say you're great. I mean, we haven't seen you, but the critics say that you're terrific. You're a natural.
A natural what?
Actor.
Oh, natural idiot. But no, I feel good, you know, to challenge, and it was especially when the character started, like in Blood Brothers, I realised that there is a character in the script, and it started to come out, and it was solid and tangible, and it was exciting for me. An actor would know this, of course, with experience, but I didn't, and he was going on there insecure every night, but when it started to come, I thought, oh, great, I could go out and do it now, yeah, and have something to sort of protect you type of thing.
Well, the character protects you.
Well, yeah, the character, and also to mould, to work with then you can use it not just a protection, but you're actually moulding it, and you feel as if, yeah, you are doing something, not just saying the words and that, you are doing a bit of acting now.
In your latest film, which comes out next month, you actually do have to do a bit of screen fighting, don't you? Which must have been a bit strange.
It's frustrating because you've got to miss by 2 feet and all that, you know what I mean? And, you know, when you're psyched up for 30 years to do it the other way, you know what I mean, or 30 odd years.
Sure.
You've got to connect. If you don't connect, it's wrong, you know what I mean? Whereas here, if you connect in the film, that's wrong.
Yeah,
you sack you.
Yeah.
So it's all confusing.
You really have to hold yourself back, do you? When you...
Well, not so much. You're supposed to go through with the punches according to the stunt coordinator. I was long word coordinator. You learn words like that when you become an actor. But he says, you know, you've got to do it naturally and that and make it look, but the camera angles and all the rest of it makes it look, and the noise, you know, thwack, you know, it looks as if you're hitting them flush on the chin.
Yeah. Well, John, thank you very much indeed. Hope you got through without feeling too much hatred and aggression towards us. We're still here anyway. Thanks a lot. Best luck for your film.
Thanks.
Now, after the